Same, but different. I guess so. What's up guys, Vinny here with Secret Tweaker and welcome back to another video. Today we have the first impressions review on the Nike LeBron NXXT Gen AMPD. Now this shoe essentially is the same shoe as the Next Gens, but it's got a few minor tweaks to it and we'll be able to get into those here in just a second. And this one again is the I Promise colorway, same launch colorway that they had for the Next Gens. However, this time around there's a lot more going on in the upper, whereas last year's you had two solid colors for a mismatch. Again, this is a mismatch, but it's just the colors are just everywhere. However, it is for the kids at LeBron's I Promise school, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, and you guys can correct me down in the comments below, the kids at the school helped design this colorway particularly. As always though, let's start it off with the traction, and the traction is the same as last year. Now the traction is the map of Akron, and like I said, it is the same traction pattern as last year. It does feel like it might be more durable. Honestly, the rubber compound does feel a little bit thicker than last year's model. So if you are wanting to take it outdoors, you potentially could. I would still, again, cautiously do that. If it starts grinding down too much, you know, maybe stop. But what do I know? And as for the squeak, for those of you that like feedback, it's going to have a decent amount. It's just not, you know, it's not anything crazy. Now for the actual performance, these do feel like they are going to bite pretty well. I did test these out on just did one initial wear on the courts at Lifetime, and it was able to bite the floor really well. Granted, the floor was decently clean. I would say it was, at that time, it was pretty dusty. It was all of the shoes I was wearing that day were picking up a decent amount of dust. However, it wasn't so present in this shoe in particular, and it was able to bite through it. Again, the traction may get better or may get worse over time after testing it out. Zion 3. Anyway, yeah, that one was a whammy. Again, traction does seem like it's going to perform really well, and honestly, I have no reason to believe it's not. It's the same exact pattern as last year's, and last year's was absolute money. Now, the cushion is a little bit different. I think the Phylon midsole that they used in this year's model as opposed to last year's is a little bit softer, so you do get more compression in this midsole than you would last year's, but it does still feature a 4-foot zoom unit and a heel zoom unit, and both of them are top loaded, which is different from the 20s, where the heel zoom unit is bottom loaded. On top of that, you do get a good amount of core feel, just like you did in last year's model, and the impact protection is there. You get a great amount, and you do get a nice bounce to it. Just like with pretty much most LeBrons, you will get great cushion and a decent bounce, or just a ridiculous amount of bounce. Just depends, you know. Last couple models and the Next Gens, you get a decent bounce, but I mean, the models before that, those shoes were jumping out the gym. As for the fit, I was able to go true to size, just like last year's model. Again, I am a slightly wide footer, and I was able to go true to size without any like tightness or just discomfort in the forefoot or the midfoot. If you are a narrow foot to a, you know, medium footer, you should be able to do that. Wide footers, I would try these on in store. Just make sure you can potentially go true to size. You very well might be able to, and I thought you would be able to in last year's model, but this one, the uppers got more on top of it, which might make it a little bit harder to break in over time. So again, try them on in store. However, I think you should be good. Now, for the materials and the support, the LeBron NXXT Gens in the I Promise colorway, there is two colorways that released. They have the first game, I believe, and the I Promise. First game one features a more of a leather upper, whereas the I Promise colorway features a patent leather upper. You do still get that open hole mesh. However, this year, the biggest difference between the Next Gen and the Next Gen AMPD that I would say is noticeable just to the eye is the upper. And the upper just has been reinforced from last year's model. And again, this one does use a patent leather panels and overlays on top of that open hole mesh upper. I mean, I wish I kind of went with the first game colorway because I'm not a huge fan of patent leather. I think the other colorway, that leather, would feel better. But again, that's just my personal opinion. There might be people out there that, you know, like patent leather more. For me, I don't hate patent leather. I do prefer just regular tumbled leather more. Now, it's probably synthetic leather on that one too, but again, that's besides the point. I just like the way that feels better. End of story. Overall, just with like the reinforcements and the materials, I think these are going to be great, just like last year's model. This one is going to have, again, more reinforcement on the upper of the shoe, which might pose not so good. I guess it just might not be so great for the breathability of the shoe. However, you do have this perforated, or I guess a torch style tongue, which should help alleviate that a little bit. As for the price, the LeBron NXXT Gen Amps retail at $170. They're available on Nike right now. Both colorways should be on there, so you can take your pick. And as for the weight, for a size 9, these do weigh in at 13.8 ounces. Now, just for reference, I do want to check how much the other ones weigh in at. Here's the I Promise colorway. All right, again, this is a size 9, and these weigh in at 13 ounces. Almost a full ounce difference. So definitely you can tell that there has been all that material added on top of there. But again, I do understand why they did it, just for reinforcement. For people like Bron likes playing in the next gens a lot, as well as his 21s, which if you guys have noticed, the 21s were also heavily reinforced on top of the 20s. So it is something that they are wanting to do, and I think they're just kind of wanting to avoid someone potentially ripping out the shoe. I think they should do that for Zion shoes, maybe, you know. But I think Jordan brand in general just needs to improve a little bit. Again, sorry, my Jordan brand rants probably are going to pop up in a lot of videos, because I just think a lot of their shoes have a lot of potential, but they don't live up to it because of durability issues or traction issues. Traction on the Zion 3. Ass. Now for the box on the LeBron NXXT Gen Amps, it is a pretty similar box to the previous model, but it has like amped in kind of like white letters over there on top of white box, so you can't really like see it unless you're like super close or it's at an angle like on the light. So it does say NXXT Amped, and the box again is a pretty generic box, but it's got, I guess, a little bit of like a luxurious feel to it. You know, the lion with the crown, which is again one of LeBron's logos, and just the gold accents. Now, a lot of people also ask us where we get our basketball socks from. The answer is from Amazon. They come in a pack of 3 that costs just as much as one pair of Nike Elite socks. The ones we have are these 2 muted colors, which the white one and the black one, and they are quarter length. So if you guys like quarter length, they have them available in that, but they also have them in the high top version. Like I said, they come in a pack of 3 that costs just as much as the Nike Elites, and these are pretty much the same thing, but without the Nike branding. They're cushioned, they're ventilated, and they're amazing socks, and they last a long time. If you guys do want a pair, hit the link in our description down below and go grab yourselves a pack. Not a pair, grab yourselves a pack. If you guys have played in the LeBron NXXT Gen Amps already, or the LeBron NXXT Gens, let us know your experience down below. If you guys are wanting me to review any other shoes, again, comment those down below. For more content like this, please like, subscribe, and follow. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.